again, what I was saying is that I am late for a meeting by 2 hours. I decided to wait and listen to this testimony here. That a very, very important meeting, extremely important. By 2 hours, just to listen to this. And what you hear from this testimony, those of you who are tuned in Brazil, in South Korea, in Europe, and all the places where the Lord has sent His servants, and we have raised cripples there. What you hear in this testimony, which needs to be repeated here, is the moment the Lord brings His servants, He brings us into the meeting, and then you hear the mother to this cripple, Steve, totally crippled, total African cripple on the dust, could not even crawling using the stomach, cannot stand, cannot walk, of course, totally crippled, cannot crawl also, cannot stand, cannot walk, cannot crawl. But what I picked out from here that I wanted to highlight to you that are tuned in this country, those in the studio, those all over the nation, those abroad, is the way the mother is describing, if you listen very well, she's describing the moment when the Lord brings His most glorious prophets into the meeting. When the Lord brings His most glorious, that's why they are called mightiest, ancient mega. You hear that when the prophets of God come in and they pronounce, they make a decree that now let every cripple get up. The healing anointing of the Lord has entered here. And it's amazing because you hear right away at that point in time, right away you hear that is the moment the Lord, the boy, she describes it. She says, for the first time in his life, since he was born, he stood up, just to stand up on his own. So and then he made the first step. So you realize that this daughter of the Lord, Mama Steve, is actually describing to the whole world the exact moment when the Lord touched, when the prophets of the Lord decreed that the healing anointing of the Lord has now entered, let everybody get up. She is describing the exact moment when the hand of the Lord touched the cripple. When the Lord just, the moment He just touched the cripple, in the year 2025, she's describing that. The latter glory that was promised to the church. And yet the Lord did not divulge. He did not alert the world how it would roll out. Just a mere walking. Of course, the cripples are too many that got up. We could not get to each one of them. And whenever they came to the station, to the altar, we cannot take testimony. Because we hear announcements everywhere. Because we know that there is the one where the doctors are examining them and recording them. Even their pastors in the village are recording them in the respective towns and cities and counties before they come. But what is most astounding is that this daughter of the Lord, Mama Steve, is describing in the year 2025 the exact moment when the living hand of the living God touched the cripple and he got up for the first time at the command of his prophets there. You can see the authority and the power that the Lord has bestowed, placed on His prophets, upon the prophets of Yahweh. But nothing happened until they came, and when they decreed, then the living hand of the living God touched the cripple. And the Lord does this deliberately to draw the attention of the whole world to these servants here, the most glorious prophets of the Lord. The year is 2025. When we have this conversation, postmodern, artificial intelligence. This is serious. No artificial intelligence could help the crippled child to get up. No postmodernism could help Steve to get up. But she's describing in 2025, the moment the hand of God touched the cripple, he got up at one decree when the prophets of God entered, and they made a decree that now the healing anointing of the Lord has entered here. Now let every cripple get up and walk away. Then the living hand of the living God touched the cripple, and Steve got up for the first time. The cripple, remember, pulling himself on his chest, cannot stand, cannot crawl. got up and began to make first steps, and he could not speak, he could not hear. And that's the moment he began to speak and hear. This is serious. The ears that have heard this, blessed are the ears that hear this. But the ears that have heard this, if you don't enter heaven, your fire will be raised up 1,000-fold. Thank you.